Hello and welcome back. My name is Reb, and today we're going to be looking at something that I've recently DIY'd for my outdoor adventures. So, I've been thinking a lot about the kind of drawing that I enjoy doing and where I like to draw, and for the most part, I do most of my drawing here at the desk, but I do really enjoy drawing out and about. I've become like a really big fan of urban sketching and plein air painting, and I think it's great practice to draw from observation. I admire a lot of artists that have honed their setups to work for them. There are a lot of beautiful kits and pochade boxes and things like that out there, but a lot of them are really expensive. Alternatively, there are a ton of tutorials that show you step by step how to DIY your own versions. This is not that video though. I did make a version of one of those DIYs, but because I, for the most part, used literally scavenged items, it would be really hard for anybody to really replicate this. But hopefully, you can use this as inspiration to make your own version. Let's take a look at what I made. So, first things first, on my last video, I think it was my last video, I went to the river to do some sketching on my paddleboard, and I took this little case with me. And I thought it worked really great. I really enjoyed the fact that it was all kind of self-contained, including the paper, and I didn't feel like anything was really lacking other than maybe a couple of color adjustments and a pencil. But all of that being said, the whole time that I was out there, I was super paranoid that I would lose some of my items because they weren't attached to this case. So I had this little palette, which Olinda from Olinda's Artistic Oddities made me. And then I had this travel brush that I had just recently purchased. So feeling a little scared to lose these. So I decided that this could be its own thing altogether, like completely independent. That way I could keep this in one kit and then have this ready to go at any point. So I made a couple little modifications. I added this cute sticker that I got from Kat. I'll link down in the description. And very secure. And I just made a new kit. So I ended up deciding to just fill this with some fresh paint. This is a blister pack from gum. Makes a great palette. I've used this in other things before as well, but they're all perfect little pan-sized things, basically free. You can fill them up as much as you want to. You can pop out the paint if you need to, replace a color or something like that, depending on the paint. Some are a little bit more difficult than others. But yeah, it's a very, very lightweight way to put some paint in something. These work great for Altoids tins as well. Basically any small tin, you can cut these down to size, however many slots you want, however many, whatever dimensions you need it to be. So highly recommend a gum blister pack. Then keeping the cup, this one actually worked out great because it's so squishy, it just flattens in here, no problem. And then this little tray is actually from an old iPhone box. I just basically took the box apart and cut this to size. And it's like a little perfect little plastic tray for mixing colors and such. I glued both of these down with some 3M tape, so they're not going anywhere. And then I had this little small pencil. This is a water soluble coloring pencil. And then I got two brushes that I wasn't super attached to, but that I've used and and I just cut them down I know probably blasphemy, but I just cut them down to size so that they would fit in here. And because these handles are wood, I know that they'll float if for whatever reason I drop them. Then I've got a Blackwing pencil that is pretty short for drawing already, but perfect for this case. And it all fits inside. So this is my kind of silly solution, but I think that this will work just fine. When I'm working, I can actually just kind of tuck this cup here and it will stay, it's not going to move. And then the paper fits on the top, just inside. This piece is a little bit big, but you get the idea. So yeah, perfect little case for traveling on my paddleboard and doing a little sketching. So I really like this new setup. We'll have to take it for testing at one point or another, but I think it's going to work out great. All right. Then the other thing that I made is I've been really wanting to find a more comfortable solution than like holding my items and drawing. I wanted something that I could like put my items on and be a little bit more comfortable. So some of my favorite artists use something similar to this, like James Gurney. Sarah Burns has some kind of like videos on some of these things, but they've either DIY'd some pretty specific and fancy ones, or they've been sent or purchased some really kind of like high-end ones. And I am a cheapskate, TBH, and I was like, I can make something useful from literally stuff that I have just lying around the house. So I did just that. I made basically a little sketching board. So this is basically like a piece of plywood that I had lying around. It's a little bit heavier than I would have liked, but it's not too bad. It is very, very sturdy. These are some rubber bands that came with something I ordered at one point or another, but they're like really hardcore rubber bands. And then on the back, this mounts onto a tripod. So I can use this as like an easel, like a little sketching easel, or I can use it as something that I put around my neck and the strap will like support some of the weight. I'll have to like demonstrate all of that in not a separate video, but like a separate part of the video, but I just wanted to take you through some of the like modifications I made. So like I said, this is absolutely scavenged from stuff that I had lying around the house. This is actually it was like a phone, like a clip for a phone that was broken. Like here are the other pieces. Like it would have been something like this, but one side had broken off. So this was just the other side of it. And I just basically sawed it off. It has the little nut that I needed to attach it to the tripod. So I just kept this piece and screwed it on there. You can buy this like type of fitting, I guess. I think it's called a T-post or a T-nut or something like that, a T-nut. From a hardware store, you know, quarter inch, three eighths of an inch, whatever your tripod is. Or you can buy those like quick release plates. That would probably be easier than this. But like I said, I didn't want to spend any money. I just wanted to make it with stuff that I had lying around. So that's, I got some D-rings on here for some, basically if I wanted to just like hang it from my shoulder or use it as like a standing supported little sketch pad, I guess. So yeah, that's basically it. I had this little strap on this old purse that I had, use that. and it works really great. I like it because I can attach my sketchbook. Basically, you just slide the back cover in here, and then you can draw. Or if you want, you can actually use this with like a canvas or something. This rubber band is very stretchy and very flexible. Like I said, I do not remember what I got these from, but very handy. So basically like this. And grab the other side. And there you go. Now this board is a little bit big, but it offers me quite a bit of flexibility as far as like sketchbook orientation, canvas orientation, that kind of thing. And then on the bottom of it, you can like attach your palette and just slide it under any one of the rubber bands. You can attach pencils and things like that. And they're pretty secure. Like obviously you can't be, jostling around too much, but they're really not going anywhere. So works out pretty good. And these rubber bands can be shifted and stretched and, oriented in different ways. So I just feel like you have quite a bit of flexibility for this. Will I eventually improve on this? Probably. But it's a great solution for now. So let's take it outside and I'll show you how it all gets set up, and I'll make a quick drawing so that you can see it in practice. It's a really pretty morning. So glad we're coming out to do some sketching. Can you guys see the cows? Like just in the mist. It finally feels so good out here. It's been so incredibly hot this summer, and I feel like we're finally getting a little bit of a break from it, which is really nice. Alright, so tripod. This tripod was free to me. My boyfriend is a photographer, so there are a ton of tripods lying around the house. So it's pretty standard tripod, very lightweight, luckily. I think it's mostly made out of aluminum. Adjustable legs for height and all of that. And then it's got a, an adjustable kind of angle thing here. So perfect for what I need. If the surface is uneven, you can adjust the legs as needed. I think that this is probably going to be just fine for demonstration purposes. And then everything else I just tossed in this bag. This board is actually a little bit big for my backpack, for this backpack. But I wanted it a little bit larger so that I'd have a little bit more real estate. And to put it very frankly, and probably TMI, I have big boobs, so I need something that will compensate for that. So I've got a little bit of a bigger board, and then I've got like I said, D-rings on the back so that I can have some flexibility on how I set it up. If I wanted to use this just standing, I would put the one that's closest to my body on this side here, and then come around my shoulder and clip the other one up here. That way it's not interfering with my drawing hand, basically. So I would hold it like this. Sketchbook would go here, I could do my sketching, and I can put quite a bit of pressure on this for just like drawing and sketching. And then if I have any like palettes or pencils, pens, that kind of thing, that can also go under the rubber band. So pretty comfortable as far as this goes. Easy to just like walk around, do some sketching, that kind of thing. If I wanted to set it up on the palette, however, I've got the little plate on here on the back or I guess it's a mount, and just line it up and screw in the little thingamajig, all technical terms. I think I'm loosening. I have to keep reminding myself that this is backwards, that it's not righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. It's actually the other way around. So, but that's it, all attached. This can go up higher if I wanted it to, but I do not think that I will need that kind of height, so I'm just going to drop that back down. And then again, if I need to adjust the angle, that can happen as well. So yeah, that's the setup. Let's attach all of the accoutrement to it. So for the sketchbook, let me make sure that you guys are in frame, so to speak. Okay, you can see, sort of. There we go, that helps. All right, so as far as my sketchbook goes, since I'm doing some landscape drawing, I'm actually going to be sliding the back cover into the rubber band. And then if I need to, I can clip my pages. If it's really windy, this probably would be very useful, beach, that kind of thing. I can move this kind of up and down as needed. Probably since I'll do some thumbnail sketches, I want both parts on here, and then I'll do the actual drawing down here. And then for all of my like drawing things, I can slide the pens and pencils into the rubber bands down at the bottom. And same thing for the little palette. I can just slide that in here as well. And this can be adjusted as needed if I need to just make it a little bit more secure or something like that. So, but this feels pretty good. Let's do some sketching. I'm going to scoot you guys closer so you can see what I'm doing. Alright, so there you have the like finished little sketch, and then the painting. It's pretty loose, it's pretty light. I tried not to overwork it, but it's tough. But this was sure a like really nice way to spend my morning. So I'm glad I came out here. Glad I've made this little situation here, because I feel like this is going to be useful for like on the trail or somewhere where I can just like chill and sit for a little while and do some sketching. And then I like the versatility of being able to also potentially just hold the board and have a little bit more support if I'm like walking around or standing. So yeah, I hope that you have enjoyed this little demonstration and that it inspires you to find solutions for your drawing situation or your drawing setup that work for you. And if anybody has any questions, please feel free to leave a comment in the comments below. I'm happy to impart or share any of my knowledge and or MacGyver skills, I guess. So I will catch you guys on the next video.